But in society more broadly, something more important is happening, which is that ordinary people in their millions are looking at all this stuff. They're reading all this stuff. They're looking at Saturday Night Live and seeing the blind contempt that these lovies and these cultural figures have for them. They're looking at things that Biden says. They're looking at the border and this idea that who cares if the border is porous? Who cares if it's open? It doesn't matter. They're looking at all this stuff and they're saying, this is irrational. This is dangerous. The establishment poses as the adults in the room, but actually they're insane. They have insane views on biology, on borders, on national security, on climate, on everything else, and on the economy. They're looking at all this and saying the voice of reason has to come back in. And they see themselves as the voice of reason. And I think they're right to see themselves as the voice of reason. And it's like we had this movement in Britain in the 1840s called the Chartists. And this was a movement for the right of men to vote, because working class men at that point couldn't vote. And it was a brilliant movement for the right of working class men to vote. And they had this weekly newspaper. And there's one article in that newspaper, which is very well known, where they said, you know, the priests and the academics and the rulers of society, they pose as experts. But actually the ordinary man in the street, the ordinary woman in the street, the person with a normal job is far more of an expert than they are, because he lives in society in a way that they don't. He sees the problems in society in a way that they, in their rarefied circles, don't. So ordinary people have a keener understanding, I think, of the problems afflicting their communities, the problems afflicting their societies, and the problems afflicting their young people.